A lot of people watched it, but nobody's watching day to day, all day, unless you're me and just love this stuff. Procedures are okay, but we want to know, where do you stand? And so I think the more that politicians stop trying to be politicians and be people, then that will engage voters. We reject alternative facts, so come on in here and let me educate you on the facts. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing? We're a little early today. Welcome back to the Q with Q, or welcome if this is your first time tuning in to the Q with Q in our daily political briefing. My name is Quentin R. Giles, but if we're friends, then you know you have to call me Q. Now, I know I told y'all we were going to talk at 7, and normally we've been talking at 7. However, I have a meeting to go to that I didn't realize is at 7. So I was like, okay, well, let's push the show up an hour and hopefully everybody can hop in. And so I'm looking at the chat. I see people already started, baby. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Trust and believe. So I hope you all, thank you all who are here watching live for tuning in. And then everyone that will maybe show up at 7, y'all enjoy the replay of the show. Y'all enjoy. Y'all, yeah, a little early. I'm a little early, Jacob. I'm a little early. Side note, Jacob, did you get my request? I know you scheduled your 15 minutes one-on-one with me because you're one of my Patreon members. We rescheduled that. So did you? I want to know, did you get the rescheduled request? I couldn't make it at that original time. So let's get into some housekeeping as well while I wait and see if Jacob is gonna respond in the comments. Baby, guess what I got? Guess what I got, y'all? New goalie gummies. New goalie gummies. I told y'all they were sitting in my packet. I was excited. I was excited to get mine. Hold on now, baby. You know, y'all need to get y'all goalie gummies. Get your goalie gummies right here. By clapping the link. If you're on YouTube, you've seen that I pinned the link. And I just posted the link, baby. You can get your apple cider vinegar supplement. They taste delicious for 20% off. I just put a link in the chat. I'm about to get me some more because them things is good. Hold on, wait a minute now. I just put a link in the chat. It's my affiliate link. It's going to give you 20% off of your order. Now, you got to act quick now. You got to act quick and get your 20% off. Okay? Get your goalie gummies. I'm so excited when mine came in. When mine came in the mail today. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna say something for tomorrow. When mine came in the mail today, I was so excited. I was so happy. They restocked me. Woo, okay. Sorry, y'all. Somebody said this was their first time here. Shout out to you, Melody Moore. Thank you so much. Shout out to you. Welcome to the first time. And also, this is a thing right here. If everybody points their attention to the screen, which it should because you listen and you watch them, right? These are things we love to see. Abby started us off already. If you would like to get your comment featured on the screen so we can discuss as we go through today's show, you can give a super comment or a super sticker. Now, we love super comments and super stickers here because not only does your comment get featured on the screen, but it also pours into me to keep doing this thing full time. Okay, now Abby had done came through again. First time on the live from Baltimore. Thanks, Q, for all that you do for us. Thank you. I appreciate that. So the two things. Abby just got her comment featured. Boom, right there. You can give a super comment. If you're on YouTube watching, go down to the comments and just, type in what you need to type in, but that also pours into me and what I'm doing and helps me continue to do this thing full time. Thank you so much. Now, I'm not going to eat all my goalie gummies in a day. I'm not going to eat them all in a day. I'm not, because baby, they only sent me 3 bottles this time. Originally, they sent me 5. They only sent me 3 this time. I said, I must be eating these too quick for y'all. I must be eating these too quick. Hold on, I just got breaking news on my phone. Breaking news: House passes a sweeping defense bill with veto-proof majority that Trump threatened to veto and urged Republicans to oppose. Oh, well, if it's veto-proof, that means Republicans actually joined in with the Democrats in the House. That's what makes it veto-proof. Y'all know, let me give y'all the civic education. You know, the Congress could just pass laws. They really don't need the president, right? If enough of them got together and pushed and passed a law, There is a certain threshold that means veto proof that the president can't do nothing about it. So the House, now, we have two chambers, the House and the Senate. So the House passed a sweeping defense bill with veto proof majority. Okay, so that means it's going to head on over down there to the Senate, and we'll see if the Senate does the same thing. Because if the Senate does the same thing, baby, no, man, Pam, it's a wrap. It's out of there. Okay, y'all started with the super comments early. I mean, we can just go to super comments if you want before I get to the actual show. Those things I'm okay with. I'm okay with those things. Side note, y'all, please don't let me go past 7 o'clock. Somebody, please, when 7 o'clock get here, put it in the comments. I got to get on this other call. Please don't let me go past 7 o'clock. Now, Kiona Hamid, did I say that correctly? Kiona Hamid, shout out to you for the super comment. Thank you so much, sis. Says, we have to talk about Flynn's case being dismissed. I mean, we could talk about that right now because I actually didn't write it down for the show today, but we could talk about it. As you all know, President Trump issued Michael Flynn a pardon. Well, who's Michael Flynn? Michael Flynn is or was the national security advisor for Trump when he assumed power in the form of the presidency in he gets sworn in 2017. Michael Flynn is also the person that then acting Attorney General Sally Yates, who I might add is actually being considered right now as Biden's Attorney General. We heard that she's on the short list of potentially becoming Attorney General for Biden. Went over to the White House to let them know that Flynn was compromised and that the Russians had something on him. And yet and still, Donald Trump did not, I repeat, did not fire him. They only fired them weeks, maybe months later, and said that they fired him because he lied to the vice president. But what's crazy about that is Pence has come out since then, as this whole saga has continued to unfold and move forward, and said that Flynn didn't lie to him. So y'all claim he lied 4-5 years ago. Now he's not lying. Okay, all right. Well, today, to Kiona's comment on the screen, the court case had to be dropped today, because technically there is nothing left to dispute in the judiciary system since he's gotten a pardon, baby. And Judge Sullivan, Judge Sullivan, who is the judge over the case, he took some swipes. Now, he did take some swipes in his statements in the court documents, not just verbal, in the court documents, as he dismissed this case on up out of here, and basically just said, that we can. I'm gonna summarize it. He didn't say these words, but this is basically what we got. Okay, we know that the president was involved in this, meaning involved in the criminality of it all, and that's how he got a pardon. And that basically pardons are for criminals, so there is some type of admission of guilt there, right? And that he's not pleased, essentially. So that's what we got from the court, from the judge, which one could say from the court, because judges often referred to as this court because they're the representative of the court. So that is that. Yeah, the case is officially dropped. It's done. You randomly have Michael Flynn calling for martial law the other week. I didn't really talk about that because I try not to get in people too much of my energy, especially when it's shenanigans. So yeah, that's to Kiona's point. That is what's happening right now in relation to the Michael Flynn case. Yeah. Interestingly enough, with him now having this pardon, he vacates his Fifth Amendment, right? To not self-incriminate if he's ever called to testify, because technically you've been pardoned. So you can't self-incriminate. So you can't be prosecuted for these things because you have a pardon for it. So that'll be interesting if some attorneys generals decide to bring up a case against Trump or someone related to this that we don't quite know about in the public sphere, because a lot of this stuff will come out. A lot of this stuff will come out as things become unredacted and things like that. So thank you so much for the super comment, Kiona. And that's how we do that thing there. Anybody feel free to hop in and do that as you please. Now, let's get into the show. Let's see, I wrote notes. Let's get into the show notes. Oh, did I say you can get your goalie gummies? I did. I definitely did. Get your goalie gummies as well. Link pinned to the top if you're watching YouTube. Link right there. Link right here. Let me pop that in right there. Okay, so what we all yesterday, we didn't talk about this yesterday because it kind of happened towards excuse me, towards the start of this show, was that a data scientist, her house was basically raided by the police. Now, let me set the stage for what has happened. Down there in Florida, there was this woman, her name is Rebecca Jones. She was a whistleblower. What she was saying was that Florida, back a couple months ago, when we were like I can't even say in the thick of the pandemic because we're still in it, but over the summerish time, was saying that Florida was actually not reporting the correct numbers for the coronavirus infection, and that they were using a flawed calculation, trying to make it seem like their numbers weren't as bad. One might suggest that should be criminal, because you are giving the public a false sense of reality when there was a deadly virus on the loose. I'll just throw that out there just in case any attorneys generals is looking or viewing right now. You know, something about that seems criminal to lie about such a thing. But anyway, she was the one that came out and blew the whistle, right? Sis was ultimately fired, and she did a string of TV appearances way back when. Well, she released a video yesterday showing, cops coming in at gunpoint. It was like, I think I counted like 4 or 5 cops busted in on her. Her security, you know how people have like the ring lights, and I don't know if she had a ring light specifically, but she had like a ring light type of deal set up in her home to where you could see the cops come in and basically raid her stuff. I kind of went through her Twitter feed today too, and she was saying that they took some of her equipment. So she is not able to give updated numbers because she kept tracking these things even after she left. She's not able to give updated numbers. Now, people are saying that this is retaliation from Governor DeSantis to her, because she was the one that basically blew the lid off of this thing, right? She was the one that basically was like, everybody needs to look at this because something is not right. The state is lying to you. Things are actually worse than what they are saying they are. And now it seems, of all the houses, right, that cops show up at her house. Furthermore, I think the defense right now is something about, well, she was a government official and and she was using, or she was saying things that she shouldn't have been saying, or whatever the case may be. Sis was fired months ago. Baby, when you get fired from the government, your access is cut off. So it's not like here we are 4 or 5 months removed from that. She somehow still has access to government infrastructure, if you will. So right now, it doesn't seem as though there was a valid justification for why they did that, and it seems like retaliation. And so if that is the case, sis needs to get paid. Sis needs to get paid. Sis needs to bring somebody kind of lawsuit up against someone. We'll backtrack it before we just jump and say it's the governor, although that's what many are suspecting. Let's backtrack it. Who gave the order? Who sent the cops there, right? So we'll look at them. And then who gave you the order? Who told you to do it? Out of all the houses, out of all the government officials that are no longer working for the state of Florida, why did y'all roll up on her house and barge in her place like that? Those are questions that need to be answered. I do believe her children were there as well. So it's a real problem, real problem. So that's what happened. That's still kind of what's unfolding right now. We'll keep an eye out on that. But Rebecca Jones is her name, and she's still tweeting. Last I checked, about an hour ago, she's still tweeting about the update. And like I said, she says she still has not gotten her equipment back yet. So before we get into the next story, we're going to take a quick moment for one of our sponsors. Listen, you all know I am on my health kick right now. And one thing that I miss is cookies. So I am super excited that I got a healthy alternative, some vegan cookies. Okay, get into the veganism of it all. It's the veganism for me. Shout out to Samaya Nicole brand for making me these delicious vegan cookies based right here in Houston, Texas. You all can follow her at Samaya Nicole brand on Instagram. Wait a minute. Baby, you won't be disappointed. Let me go eat these, cut the camera off. It's the cut the camera off for me. Sorry, I be laughing at stuff like I didn't do it. That just tickled me. So shout out to Samaya Nicole brand. Shout out to you all for the cookies. I do want me some more of them cookies. Them cookies was good. I ain't even play. The cookies was good, baby, and the goal is good. Hello. I don't play when it comes to food. Nah, I don't play when it comes to food. So let's move into our next story. So you all remember Chris Krebs, right? He was the security official that was appointed by Trump. That was his job. Who said this was the most secure election in U.S. history? Well, we know that Trump fired him via tweet, and we know that he still maintained his position that this was the most secure election. Well, Buddy just came out and did an interview with Axios, and he basically called the president of the United States a threat, saying that him being a government official in that capacity took an oath to uphold and defend America from its foreign enemies and domestic enemies. Domestic enemies meaning people inside of America. And he basically said that Trump was one of those people because he is sowing misinformation, disinformation, doubt in one of the most securest elections. He is running around here saying he won. He is, tearing down the public's trust, or maybe more so his supporters' public trust of a fair, secure, and free election. Another thing that he also is doing, which he should have been done. Remember, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think I was in Cabo at the time when I came and I did a live stream and said that one of Trump's allies said that he should be shot, that Chris Krebs, who said the elections were secure, should be shot. Well, that was Joe DeGeneva. And Mr. Krebs has filed a lawsuit against Joe DeGeneva, because I'm pretty sure Chris Krebs is now beginning to get death threats. Well, we know he was getting death threats as well already. And you have someone come out and actually call for him to be harmed, call for him to be shot. Some have said that Joe DeGeneva called for him to be killed. So he has decided that he was going to strike up a lawsuit and go after Joe DeGeneva, which he should. You can't just be calling for people to get shot just because you don't agree with the truth. It's not even as though first off, you shouldn't be calling for anybody to get shot anyway, but it's not even as if it's an opinion. This is the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. Like, I don't understand. It's the truth. So we're praying for Chris Krebs and his family to stay safe, but kudos for him. Hold people accountable. Absolutely. File a lawsuit, file defamation. Somebody, attorney general, needs to look into that. That sounds criminal too, to be calling for someone to be shot. That sounds that I believe that's criminal. Like, will you be held liable if someone actually goes and does that? Will you? We need to keep looking on it. In other election-related news, this one just kind of made me so eye roll. Please don't judge us, and please don't hold us people down here in Texas liable for this man. We don't even want this man. But y'all know I'm in Texas, our Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, I don't even... Ken Paxton is suing swing states and asking for the Supreme Court to not certify the results in Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. That is what he's asking for. That's what he's asking for. Now, the interesting thing is the Supreme Court, so our Attorney General, and I see Allison MK, I see your super comment. I will get back to you, I promise you. But let me go ahead and do this story. So why this is even interesting in the flow of events, Ken Paxton filed this lawsuit, or we found out about this lawsuit earlier today. Since then, the Supreme Court has rejected Pennsylvania Republicans' attempt to block the certification in that state. So that actually happened after we found out about Ken Paxton. Ken Paxton's thing has not really moved up that way yet, but that's what he wants. So I find that interesting that Pennsylvania is on the list. Pennsylvania is on the list of states that Ken Paxton is going towards. Now, Ken Paxton already has his own legal issues, which one would think that Ken Paxton would resign, or that Republicans here in the state of Texas would say, we don't want you to continue to represent us because you got your own criminal cases going on, your own indictments. Like, we have a real live sitting attorney general with real live indictments against him. Welcome to Texas. And so I got to thinking today, I said, when I saw he was doing this, I'm like, okay, this is foolishness. This is chicanery. And then I said, hold on now, wait 1 minute. Hold on now, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Let me eat a Golden Gummy. Boop. Let me start thinking, wait, what? Let me find out Ken Paxton is around here kicking up all this dust and running amok so that Trump might pardon him. Hello. Hello. Trump might pardon him on the way out since he was loyal or still trying to keep up the good fight. Now, y'all know I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not no QAnon person. Even though I have issues with this vaccine, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I am none of those things. However, this lawsuit is one of the most ridiculous things that I think Ken Paxton could have done, but it makes perfect sense that he is aiming to get on the president's good side because Trump could pardon him for the federal crime that he's being accused of. Like I mean, it makes sense. It just makes sense. I don't know how much time after I thought about that. I was like, well, I definitely want to report on the story, but I don't know how much time I want to give. It's like you don't want to give certain people oxygen because you know it's all shenanigans and chicanery, especially when they have ulterior motives on the other side, but then it still be news. And so it's like, okay, I don't want to not give you the news at the same time because it's definitely news. It's definitely news that a state attorney general is suing other states and asking the Supreme Court not to certify those states' elections. It's just like 1,000% crazy. But it's to me, I don't know. It's like on the other side of that. Are you trying to get a pardon? Is that what it is? Do you want a pardon? Do you just like not want to go to jail for the things you did? Is that what it is? Like you just want to break the law? Like just say that. Just let us know so then we don't have to like pretend like, oh my gosh, what's happening? You know, sometimes being gaslit is just not fun. It's exhausting. It's actually exhausting to be gaslit so often. And I'm just hoping, you know, we get a little break from that, especially with the Biden team coming in. I'm just really hoping to not be gaslit so much. Maybe once a quarter. Okay, maybe once a quarter, but not like every week. It's pretty exhausting. Sorry, Miss James. Yeah, no, we just came early. I know people gonna come at 7. Like, wait, what happened? What's up? I know I had to jump on early. Now I have to get to this super comment. These are things we love to see people. Go ahead and give your super comments and your super stickers so we can get you up there on the screen and let's talk. Okay. So Allison MK says, what are your thoughts on the Secretary of the Army's response to the Fort Hood deaths, especially Vanessa? I always say names wrong. I'm gonna say Vanessa G because I don't want to say her name wrong. Does it tie into Trump's culture of misogyny and tacit approval of violence? Good question. I'm gonna leave that up there for a while. That's a great question. You know, I think so. I'm gonna attack this from a macro perspective, from a larger point of view. When we talk about acknowledgement and when we talk about instituting change so that these types of things won't happen, I think to deny its reality or not be more aggressive and precision targeting is an attempt to maybe not admit that it's a real problem. So that's what I think. Now, I did get a post notification earlier today. I did not read it, but I do know that something happened earlier today, which, you know what, I might do a whole nother live to touch on that because I see it said 14 Army officials have been disciplined as a part of an inquiry into reports of sexual harassment and violence at Fort Hood base in Texas. Okay, so that's one of the stories that I had not had a chance to read up on. So what I would say Fort Hood at large, what we've heard so often, because I do believe there was even a young man that seems to be have been sexually assaulted as well that didn't get a lot of traction, which is a whole nother conversation about, you know, how we view male on male sexual trauma, which I may do a video on that on Beneath the Surface, because those allegations, those stories don't seem to get reported as much. And that's not to say we need to pit the two against each other. That's just to say we need to highlight all sexual assault and hold those that would do that type of harm to people accountable. So I'll look into that, Allison. I'll say all that to say I will read that article, and then maybe after my meeting, I have a meeting at 7. It may be over at 7:30. Maybe I'll just hop back on live and we talk about that specifically, and what was happening. But I definitely think, from what I just read, the 13 to 14 people they disciplined, there seems to be a culture there, and so I'm sure it's not just a handful of people that have been sexually abusing folks, right? It seems as though specifically that base, but we have heard historically that, there is this ongoing sexual trauma in the military, but it definitely seems like that was a culture there at that base. So thank you for that. Thank you. I will read up on that and get it going. So we have one more story after this, and we are going to hit another commercial break real quick. You all know I'm an entrepreneur, and I love me a fellow entrepreneur because we go through some things just to make our dreams come true. So I have to take a moment and give Shakara Leonard a shout out for her book, Boss Rules. Now, this is Shakara's first book, and she is giving you the tips and the tricks and the trades to how to get your entrepreneurial life on. Now, I have read the book, and here is one of my favorite days, and I'm going to quote a little section. Boss Rule 12, everybody can teach you something. The line in this that I really like is open-mindedness does not mean you take in and process all the information. Only pull out the piece or pieces that fit your agenda. And that is so real and relevant because even in the things that I do, I see other people doing things that I aspire to do, but I don't adopt their whole system because I don't always necessarily agree with everything that they do or say, but I take pieces of that thing and make it my own. Come on, Shakara. Come on, Shakara. Come on, Shakara. Woo, I tickles myself. Sorry, y'all. I be laughing at myself. If you don't laugh at yourself, who will, right? All right, so let's move on to our next story. Y'all saw, or everybody has seen, that maybe the UK is starting to vaccinate the people. The people dying in the UK is getting a vaccine, getting a coronavirus vaccine. Now, we saw Margaret earlier today. She was the first one, our elderly, sweet lady sitting there, got a little vaccine, her little. So she did that, and then I guess in some hilarious type of way, the first man, but the second person, William Shakespeare, went ahead and got his as well, to show that they are braving the storm. They have confidence in the vaccine, and so they did over there, down there, over there, whichever one you want to call it, in the UK. Now, interestingly enough, us here, we see that, or we found out that the FDA has come into agreement and said that the Pfizer data is safe and efficient. And so they are giving the green light to potentially get the emergency use authorization, meaning that certain people here in America will be able to get the coronavirus Pfizer vaccine. Now, let's unpack that a little bit, because we found out yesterday, we talked a little bit about this yesterday on the live, that we find out that the Trump administration chose not to buy additional vials of the Pfizer vaccine back in the summer. Now, here's where it's like, is it a story? Is it not a story? Because I even said yesterday, I don't know if I say, that was a loss for them, because at the time, you don't know whose vaccine was going to work. So it might not have been smart to buy all these additional vials from a company that may be kaput. But of course, the Trump administration being the Trump administration, they make it a story. So his press secretary, Callie McEnany, said that the story wasn't true and that they never had those talks, and that wasn't it. But then one of the people that's heading up his coronavirus, the Operation Warp Speed, said, yes, we decided not to do that for various reasons. So now you got two high-ranking officials in his administration with two different stories, which makes it a story. Like, because now it's like, okay, well, what were y'all doing? It just makes it look like y'all don't have it going on, or y'all, well, we already know. It just makes it look like y'all are not on one page and one accord. And it's like, well, who's running the place? Who's actually running the place? So that's what's interesting about that. Trump also signed an executive order today prioritizing that Americans would get first dibs on any vaccine that was made here in America. However, people who are much more educated on this coronavirus executive order is basically saying, well, we don't really know, like, it's not enforceable for the most part. Like, it's just words on paper, apparently, as many of Trump's executive orders are. And so it's like, well, what does that mean, prioritize? Like, what are you doing? Are you mandating companies to do this? Are you like, and then can you even do that? Is that legal for you to do that when they actually gave you an opportunity in the summer and you passed on it? And now Pfizer in particular has made all these other commitments to other countries who decided to buy in on their vaccine forever ago. So that's why I say I don't know if I would call it a not a success. I guess it's not a success for the Trump administration because this seems to be the most promising vaccine that's pushing forward. But at the same time, at the time, you know, one might say that that was smart for them not to, because you don't know, you know, if this vaccine build out or not. So that's that. But hopefully we get rid of him soon. Biden also came out today and he had a few choice words, which I really liked. He gave a speech. He introduced his health officials that he wants to nominate in his cabinet. And he said that he will be mandating mask wearing. I said, well, come on in here. Come on, Joseph. Come on, Joseph. He's going to be mandating mask wearing anywhere he can. So as the executive, as the leader of the federal government, he can mandate mask wearing in federal buildings, period. Nothing you can say about it. If it's a federal building, federal courthouse, like the IRS building, HUD building, if it's a federal building, he can mandate it. He says he will. I say thank you. He'll mandate it on things that he can mandate it on under the law. He made mention of interstate travel via plane and train. So if you fly to Miami to California, it'll be a federal mandate, not just Delta asking you to put on a mask, not just United asking you to put on a mask. The federal government is going to tell you to put on a mask. Since y'all ain't, not y'all watching, because I know y'all wears masks, because, you know, we wear masks over here. But if y'all ain't wearing masks, the federal government is going to tell you to wear a mask. So that's that. I said, well, those are things we love to see. Those are things we want to hear more about. We want to see that. Thank you so much, Joseph Biden. Thank you so much. So I thought that was very interesting. I thought that was very interesting. Also, this isn't in my show notes. We're ending near the end of the show. But civil rights leaders met with Joe Biden. And there's been a lot of talk because Joe Biden said that there was going to be diversity in his cabinet, diversity in his administration. However, civil rights leaders are saying that they don't feel as though they've been brought to the table, nor do they feel like there are enough African Americans or brown people being in the #1 leadership positions. You have a lot of deputies and you have a lot of people that are being or not even a lot. But out of the people that have been named, you do see Black bodies in #2 positions. I mean, even if you look at Kamala Harris, which is historic and great, and we recognize that, it's still #2, right? It's not the #1 big baller shot caller. So these civil rights agencies, these civil rights groups are saying, we not only want to be in the room when you make these decisions or think about this, but we want us represented at the top. As I look to my right, I see Lloyd Austin, who Biden has said he's going to nominate as the Secretary of Defense, essentially running the Pentagon, who is a Black man who has military service. So we'll see if that not necessarily suffices, but a question that I was asked earlier today. Side note, I did a segment with NBCLX, which is NBC's channel for millennials and Gen Zers. And the question was asked, when is it enough? When does it get enough? And my response was, it's not enough until it's enough. That's just on period. This Joe Biden was the one that said his administration is going to look super inclusive and super engaging and super diverse. So these agencies, these advocacy groups are holding his feet to the fire, as they should. Not only Black groups. I mean, yes, I want to see people that look like me represented. Yes, Black women showed up and showed out, and Black men did too. We was right behind the Black women that pushed Biden over the edge. But you still need to hold those commitments to Hispanic folks. You still need to hold those commitments to Native American folks. You got a lot of commitments that you got to make. There are lots of other groups that did come together, but what the civil rights groups and we can say, those are focusing. Those civil rights groups definitely focus on the civil rights of all, but the foundation is definitely Black people, right? Your NAACP, your National Urban League, your National Action Network with Rev. Nal Sharpton over there, are definitely saying, no, we want Black folks at the table, and we want Black folks at the number one spot. And that's on period, Pooh. Period. So yeah, that was today's news. Excuse me, that was today's news. Somebody said, did he have a Black woman over HUD? He did have a Black woman over HUD. You gonna give me some names? What do you mean? I did see right before this show started as well, there was some breaking news. But said it. It's just, it was a Black female congresswoman who might be over HUD. That might be who you're talking about, but we haven't gotten the official notice. You know, you get a lot of speculation and you hear things, and then sometimes their staffers intentionally leak things so they get out there, which could be because, again, Biden met with those civil rights leaders, civil rights organizations today. That could be an intentional leak, right? To say, hey, I am listening, I am still doing some things. So there's that. Tammy Thurston then entered on in here. Yeah, Tammy, it was definitely, everybody's like, I thought it was supposed to be at 7. I probably should have waited to 7, but I have a meeting at 7. I have a meeting at 7. Everybody say hey to Tammy Thurston. I have a meeting at 7. It shouldn't last long. Per the email, they said it shouldn't last long. So what I might end up really doing, honestly, is I might come back and do this show all over again at 7:15, 7:30. We'll see. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? You're not late. I started early. You're not late at all. I started early. Like I shot the gun. I sat down and I was like, I guess I could go. So that's how that happened. Side note, I'm using the new camera. Is it clearer? Is it clearer? How is the stream experience on that side? I would love to know. I would absolutely love to know. Let me see here. Okay, we definitely talked about that. Somebody said Ken Paxton facepalm. I mean, right. Let's see. Okay. I think we got everything. I definitely believe we got everything. Y'all got my son saying Tammy Thurston at the most random times. Yeah, that doggone Tammy Thurston. Me and Tammy actually had a conversation today. Tammy is on my Patreon as well. And she scheduled her one-on-one Zoom call, and we had that today. So I saw Jacob in here. Jacob will have ours tomorrow. So shout out to all my people that are on my Patreon. If you are on the Patreon, make sure I put the link. I dropped the link, yesterday, 2 days ago? My days are running together. It might have been yesterday. No, 2 days ago. So you can sign up for the one-on-one, and we just chit and chat and have a good time. Just me and you down on the Zoom, baby. We have a good time. We have a real good time. Excuse me. Okay, camera's working well. Somebody said picture is clear, little glitchy. Okay, that could be from the Wi-Fi. That could be from that. But okay, good to know. Somebody said yes, a part 2 show. Much clearer. Well, we might just do that. If everybody, do y'all think we should do a part 2 show? Should we loop this around? Shout out to you, Kay Elizabeth Lindsay. Thank you so much, sis. I super appreciate it. Super appreciate the super sticker right there. Okay, Melody says, I'll watch for the military sexual assault issue. That may be something we come back with then. I may, what I'll do is I'll take the meeting. Hopefully the meeting won't last too long. And then that means I probably won't come back until about 7:30. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead, not an after party. Now, Jacob, y'all don't have to get super stickers and super chats for the after party. Now, I can't be up all night unless no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. Never mind. Okay, so I'm going to take the meeting. I'm going to take the things that pop off up here. The things, I'm not saying that though, but I'm going to take the meeting at 7. And then what I'll do is I'll come back. Just, I guess, so people won't be confused, that people that want to show up at 7, I'll go ahead and start the broadcast at 7, and then I will keep, I'm gonna change the screen just so y'all know, everybody that's watching, I'm gonna keep the banner like this, right? So I'll have it live. I'll have my mic muted. I'll take my meeting, but I'll keep the banner like this. And then in the comments, if you all decide, you can just let the other people know, and I'll pin a comment as well. Let the people know that we're actually going to start at 7:30. I had to take a quick meeting, and then we'll come back. Hopefully, in that time, I could read that article. I don't know if it's how long it is, but I'm gonna try to read that article on the sexual assault chastisation, or the sexual assault punishment over at Fort Hood, and then we may just run the list of the show today again for the sake of those people as well. So thank you all so much, everyone. Make sure you come back. If you're not able to come back, let me drop the link one more time. That link, you can join the Patreon. My Patreon people get exclusive content, and they are able to sign up with one-on-ones with me, where we just have a good old time. You need to look at the tiers. There are 3 different tiers on the Patreon. So if you don't want to get the top tier, you can get the lower tier, whatever the case may be. You can get that. Also, there is a link. When you click that link, if you look at production expansion, I have a whole video on me expanding my production capabilities, and I'm moving into a 2-bedroom to use the 2nd bedroom as a production studio. If that's something you want to contribute, it is linked to a GoFundMe account. That would be amazing. That video explains everything that the GoFundMe is for. It's really moving costs, the additional amount of rent that it's going to take to live there, the estimated additional utility bill, things like that. So if you want to contribute to that, I welcome that, and I appreciate that. Also, that is the link where you can get your Goalie gummies. My affiliate link is there. You're going to automatically get the 20% off by using that affiliate link. The affiliate link is, full disclosure, if once you pay and you get the discount, Goalie does send me a commission on the back end. So that is there as well. Crystal says she finally got to get here on live. Wait, I didn't hit the camera. Well, Crystal, we actually about to wait, your brain went, no, that's not where it went. Actually, no, that's not where it went. No, that's not it. My brain went to a movie. It was a movie reference that I'm not going to bring up, but that's not where it went. Crystal, shout out to you. Thank you so much for getting here. Oh, another way, as you see scrolling across the banner, if you just want to give a cash donation, that's a place that you can do that there as well. Those are always welcome and appreciated. All these things, definitely, I don't think everybody knows this, but I definitely have a company. It's called Just Jobs Productions. Everything that I do under this politics realm is flowed under there. So operating with this camera, even the streaming service I use, all of that is flowed there. So any monies that's donated, even if it's at the Cash App, I count it as income, and I do pay taxes on it. I know there were some concerns at one point. People didn't know if I was a nonprofit or what, and I've never claimed to be a nonprofit. I'm not a nonprofit. But I do pay taxes on any contributions, even with the GoFundMe, all those things. So it's called Just Jobs Productions. So yeah, that's my baby, that's my business. So I am 100% funded by the people, baby. So those are all the ways you can help. Also, one last thing, let me pull up this other banner, and then I'm gonna hop out of here. I have to say this. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube, down on the YouTube, so that the algorithm can push this thing on out. Cut on your post notifications so that you are always aware of what's happening. Also, scrolling across your screen is called letting you know you can advertise your brand of products or your friends. Let them know. In this show, we ran a commercial or two, and it ran flawlessly. It was great. So definitely send us an email there as well. Okay, people, that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. I am going to hop off here. My meeting starts in a minute. I'll be back to do a part 2 of today's show. Child, we doing 2 shows in a day. What is happening in the world? We're going to do 2 shows tonight. So I will be back. I will, like I said, I will queue up the live. So it's already live, and you can hop in and you can comment and all those things. And then I'll hop back in as soon as my meeting is over at about 7:30. Yeah, at about 7:30, I'll hop back in. Definitely turn on your post notifications, Julicia Bradshaw. Definitely turn those on, and we'll do part 2 of this. So Thank y'all so much for supporting. I will see you later.
A lot of people watched it, but nobody's watching day to day all day unless you're me and just love this stuff. Procedures are okay, but we want to know, where do you stand? And so I think the more that politicians stop trying to be politicians and be people, then that will engage voters.
We reject alternative facts, so come on in here and let me educate you on the facts.